All right, hey guys, just a bonus little clip here we want to put out. Last night on social media, there was a clip that surfaced. I believe it was the OMHA of some coaches on the ice fighting. It was all out chaos. We just kind of want to touch on our feelings and our take on it. You want to just maybe give them a little more info, Jesse, on what actually happened?
Yeah, so last night I was scrolling around on TikTok, laying in bed, and I came across U13 Windsor. I don't know their exact team name, but I came across a video sent in on a news outlet of coaches who got into a fist fight on the ice over a game. I don't know if it was at the end of the game, and I don't know why the fight happened, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't fucking matter why it happened because that to me has no place in hockey. And I think as us as podcasters and want to touch on minor hockey, I think it's important to bring this message across to as many people as we can on our thoughts and opinions on that and how we feel it doesn't belong.
No, I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, my take is exactly the same as yours. Has no place on the ice, no place on a baseball diamond, no place in a basketball court, a gymnasium. It doesn't matter where we are as parents. There's one message we would like to get across, and that is be better. Do better. Be better for your kids. Set a better example for your children on how we are supposed to act and behave in society. Forget about the hockey rink, the baseball diamond, the gymnasium. Like I said, let's just do better, guys. Like,
Yeah, and I think it doesn't like being it for me being in coaching and stuff, you lead by example to those kids and you set the tone and set the bar for those kids. Now, when those kids, U13, so we're talking 12-year-olds, see you acting like that, what do your next games look like, right? These kids now think that that's okay because it's not. You win and you lose as a team. And regardless of why that fight happened, it shouldn't be there. And you got to remember who's watching you. Little eyes, we got siblings that come to the games to watch their older brother, older sister. We got so many people in the stands watching. Like, I don't care why that happened, but like, just remember who's watching you and who you're teaching.
I mean, I really like the at the rink thing there, but don't worry about what's going to happen at the rink next. Worry about what's going to happen on the playground at school tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%.
I, when these kids aren't supervised, what are they doing? What are they teaching the younger kids below them? And and I mean, like I said before, guys, just do better. Um,
Yeah, I don't think that being said, though, I don't think that it was really the players in that sense. Like we said, we don't know what happened to lead up to that. That is the coaches. So, I mean, anything that would happen on the playground, anything, you know what I mean? Uh, that would be kind of hard to take too. You got to think about the kids that just want to go out there and play hockey. Now they're watching their coaches doing that and the clapback they're going to get on the playground when they probably had nothing to do with it.
yeah, I agree, Jesse. We're going to do something a little different here than we've done in our first three episodes. We are going to bring in a guest. Her name's Meredith. You can call her Mare. We're going to get her. All right. So, everybody, welcome Mare to Barnes to Big Leagues. And like we said, we're really interested to get your take, Mare, on that video we were just speaking about.
Yeah, well, thanks first of all for inviting me on, guys. It's great to be hanging out and having a conversation about this. I guess like initially, it's sort of like, what are we doing here? Clearly there's kids standing around just watching this, and it just looks ridiculous. I mean, the coaches aren't wearing skates, so they're sort of all falling all over each other in the middle of this brawl, right? So it visually like represents just the kind of sheer pointlessness of taking it to this kind of level. You're as coaches, sure, you want to disagree with each other. There in the heat of competition. There's nothing wrong with that. There is lots that kids can learn in a positive way from being engaged in competition. But I don't know. This just seems maybe a little over the top, to say the least.
Yeah, I like that you actually said that because me actually, when I coached, me and coaches have had our disagreements. It's never gotten that far. There's been a little bit of chirping here and there, but we do remember children are watching us and they're all looking up at us. And we banter back and forth, but I've never seen anything this extreme. And it's to me disgusting.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, I also kind of reflect and take a step back and just think about the image of hockey at the higher levels over the last few years, like looking back to even the last 5 years with we all know what's happened with like the at the junior level here in Canada, across various iterations there. And the trickle down of that to the minor hockey level because there was a lot of backlash at that time from families who are like, wait, like a lot of what we contribute into the minor hockey helps to support what's happening here from a financial perspective. And then at the NHL level too, right? So it's sort of like we were really trying to not rebuild the image of the sport, but it certainly the image has taken a hit. This is the up and coming generation. Like these kids are U13. So in the next 5, 6 years, they're going to be, draft age or maybe looking at certainly we're talking lots of variety of skill, but they could be, the future refs in the minor hockey leagues or coaching even younger kids or so then they're setting an example based on the example that was set for them. And it's just really, really disappointing to see when there's so much good that we should be able to talk about instead, right?
Yeah, and not
I
to mention how much parents do put trust in, like we're letting these kids go in the change room with these guys
Yeah.
or women who are to teach these kids and develop them not only as hockey players but as people. And we put this trust in them, and what's makes you question what's happening behind closed doors, right? So, like, how are they talking to our kids? How are they treating our kids? And so it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to see that, and I'm sure it's hard as a parent.
And I bet you it's really frustrating for other coaches to see too. I have friends of mine who not in hockey, but they sort of got um voluntold into helping coach their son's baseball team over the
Been
summer.
there,
And there's nothing wrong with the coaching part, but it's all the headaches that come along with it. And
absolutely.
at the end of the day, a lot of times these are volunteers, or you're taking not a lot of pay, and so it's important to keep perspective. I think, like, is it really worth getting this angry with each other, and also who's watching, whose eyeballs are on you, what are they thinking, and remembering that you're there to lead, right? And to foster leadership in the kids who are playing on your teams. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we both wholeheartedly agree with everything you said. I just want to touch on the one thing you guys were talking about setting an example and the trickle down effect from, the parents to the kids, but the trickle down effect from the NHL to junior hockey and to minor hockey. We can touch on at the Four Nations last year. I mean, as electric as the opening face-off fights were, is that really the message with the way society and the world is moving today? Is that really the message that needs to be pushed to the children that are aspiring to be these quote unquote heroes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's bigger than just a game, right? That's why people feel so passionately about their teams and about the sports that they follow, is because there's a lot more attached to it than just who takes the trophy home at the end of the season. Uh it's your memories from your childhood playing the sport and what you learned, and it's the lessons you want to pass on. Um and it's like a certain culture, a certain level of respect for the opponent that you should take into the game. That's what helps make the competition even better. If you look at your opponent as a worthy opponent, not just as some dirtbag that you want to wipe all over the ice, right? There's that elevates the game in just in that principle. I think anyway.
I I agree for sure. And I mean, I just want to take a second and give a shout out to somebody we talked about me playing some collegiate sports that happened to be volleyball. But my coach, Wayne Wilkins, if you ask him even to this day, I think, and he's going to correct me if I'm wrong, he's been coaching this team for 17 years at Humber College, I believe it is now. His brother, I believe, is 16 years on the girls' side of the program. And they both would tell you that they're not in the business of coaching kids playing volleyball. For Wayne specifically, he would have said, I'm in the business of raising boys into men. I'm in their life at a very, very vulnerable and important time. That it's not about sports; it's about making good people.
Yeah,
And
actually, just a stupid story that just came to the top of my head on both things that you guys just said. Even though, like, yeah, I played beer league and it's just beer league. I did have a guy in the game that I was playing. Me and him are at each other the whole time, and it was not nice. And my kids were there watching. My fiance was there watching. At the end of the game, what did we do? We shook hands. I took the extra time, put my arm around him, hugged it, and I was like, "Hey, man, sorry about all the crap. It is what it is." He's like, "Yeah, man, it's hockey. We compete, and now we're over it." And that's what it is. Compete. It's okay to get intense. When the game's over, the final buzzer goes, it's done. Let
Yeah,
it go and move on.
that's why you shake hands at the end,
Yeah.
right?
And it was nothing but respect at the end. There was no more chirping or like we chirped through the whole game. We were both at each other. But at the end, we shook hands, hugged it out, and went on our way.
could you
I,
imagine you guys go, into the locker room and it's, 1 o'clock in the morning after a Sunday night beer league game and
Yeah.
guys are throwing fisticuffs at each other after the game's over. Like it's
Unfor-
crazy, man. Like,
Unfortunately, there is guys that are still like that. So, I mean,
well,
that's
it's
just what
believable
separates.
because we just watched those guys
Yeah.
on this video clip in Windsor.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play beer league against those guys.
I don't blame you, man. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in again. As always, this little snippet is brought to you by Wilson Clan Custom Apparel. And let's take the time to thank Mayor for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
yeah, it was
thank
a
you very
blast.
much.
No problem. Thanks again.